Hi, my name is Nicole Polly. I'm a counseling psychologist at Psychologies Counseling and co-author of the book How to Be Happy and Healthy, The 7 Natural Elements of Mental Health. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what light therapy is and how to properly use a light box. So light therapy is when we use a device that mimics the sun in its color, in its intensity, its brightness, and also in wavelength. Now, people can use this for many different reasons. It is originally started being used as a therapy for seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression. So as the days are getting darker, people who tend to start experiencing depressive symptoms as a result. But the more research that's been done on it, they're actually finding that it can help you if you have depression that isn't seasonal. And it can also help you if you have certain sleep disorders. It helps you reset your body clock. So, you can even just use it for personal use to ward off any risk of depression or to help yourself become a morning person. So by using bright light therapy at a particular time of day, it resets your body clock and will affect when you become sleepy, which then affects when you wake up, because obviously you'd be going to bed a little bit earlier. So it can help with a lot of different things. Now, it's important to note that light therapy can be used as an adjunct treatment to depression, seasonal affective disorder, things like that. It's not used to replace any sort of treatment, but say you've been on your antidepressant for a while, and you just still find that as the seasons change, you're having a tough time. If you're not currently on medication, you can still use this as well. So again, it's not intended to replace any sort of treatment. It's just an adjunct, so something you can add to treatments that you're already doing for seasonal affective disorder or depression. So how do you use a light box? Well, this is my own personal light box, which I actually use every day in the autumn, winter, and early spring, especially when it's really dark outside. And you can get ones that are smaller than this. This just happens to be the one that I own. Which one you get, I think you should pick based on how much you want to pay, where you're going to be using it. Obviously, if you're going to use it somewhere like work, you probably don't want something like this that's this big on your desk. But as you can see, it's very bright. And I know that the video is getting really dark as I have this on, so just for the demonstration, I'm going to be turning it off for now. But when you're using it, they recommend being about an arm's length away or so. Now, I find that sometimes the brightness can hurt my eyes if I'm sitting that close, so I will sometimes sit just a little bit further away. But do note that if you do sit further away, you will have to use the light box for a little bit longer to achieve the same effect in terms of mood elevation and resetting your body clock. It's also important that you have it at a slight angle, so I don't want to be, facing it straight like this. It's good if it's at a slight angle, just like you would look straight into the sun. So you want your eyes to be able to see the light, but not looking straight into them so that it's not straining the muscles of your eye. Now, it's really important that you use it first thing in the morning, because that's when we really need to be resetting that body clock. So I tend to use my light box in the morning for about 30 minutes while I'm eating my breakfast, checking my email in the morning. It's really important that you're not using it later in the day, because that can actually change when your body clock is resetting to the point that you might find it more difficult to fall asleep. So you'll get that mood elevation, but you'll actually sort of push your sleep cycle into the wrong time of the day. Now, that being said, if you suffer from bipolar disorder and not from seasonal affective disorder or from depression specifically, it's actually better that you use the light box a little bit later in the afternoon. So maybe around between 2 and 4 or so. But it is important to keep in mind that if you're going to use a light box, if you suffer from bipolar disorder, that it's good to make sure you're keeping an eye on your moods, as a light box has the risk of actually inducing a manic episode. So it's just something to keep an eye on.
Thank you for taking the time to watch